Morant is for many people the rookie of the year right now, and I completely agree with that. However, in today's video we'll take a look at Ja's future instead of his present to see if he can become the best player from his draft and therefore end his career with more than just the rookie of the year, perhaps an MVP. Ladies and gentlemen, this is MCG. If you like this video and the content I create, then hit the thumbs up and the subscribe button. Also, comment down below who you think is going to be the best player from the 2019 draft. Without further ado, let's continue. I'm planning on doing more videos like this where I take a certain player and discuss whether or not he can become the best player from his draft. That's why I created this table of content, which I will basically use to structure the video. First, I will start by quickly introducing the player, giving facts about him like where he went to college, his height, his draft pick, so on and so forth. Then I'll move on and portray the good aspects of his game as well as his upside. After that, we move straight to the bad or not so good parts of his game. Then, after I've broken down his game into good and bad, I'll give 3 scenarios going from best to worst to most realistic or most likely. To end the video, I'll give my thoughts on the player and if he can, in my opinion, actually be the best player from his draft. Enough said now, let's actually start. So, moving on to the good. Morant is super athletic, we all know that. He can shoot really well, he can also finish very strong at the rim, has a great layup package with all sorts of layups, and he has a rather high basketball IQ. In addition to that, he plays with a ton of confidence. And when I say a ton, I actually mean a ton. And even though he's fast, he doesn't really force anything. Like, he takes his time on offense to set things up and waits for his teammates to get into position. The bad. Defense, really. Like, look, Ja isn't a great defender, he's a good one at best. But that doesn't mean he can't become one. Because if Ja tries, I think he could be at best a really good defender, but not a great one. And Memphis will probably always try and get a really solid defender so that they can cover up his lack of defensive skill. So they won't really force him to be a great defender, which would result to him not actually ever becoming one. So there's that. Another bad thing, so to say, is the fact that he's blessed with such a supreme level of athleticism. He tries to dunk on everything and everybody. Right now, Ja has like more failed poster attempts than Zion has actual dunks. And this leads me right to my next point, his health. If Ja keeps trying to dunk all the time, something will happen eventually, and it won't be a highlight play. Let's say he stops dunking, for the sake of the video. There is still a major concern regarding his health. The last time we saw a point guard this athletic was around 2008, Derrick Rose and Russell Westbrook. Obviously, we all know how their careers panned out, and the Grizzlies should really do everything in their power so that Ja doesn't end up on the Derrick Rose side of the story, if they want him to actually be their franchise player. With all that being said though, I do think that Ja has a bright future ahead of him. I see him winning, obviously, the Rookie of the Year, then 2 MVPs, 4 championships, 4 Finals MVPs, having 13 All-NBA team selections, having 15 All-Star selections, and going down as a top 5 point guard of all time. Zion won't have a healthy career in this alternate universe. RJ Barrett falls to the poor Knicks organization, and the other prospects don't develop as people expected them to. So there won't be anyone from his draft class to challenge him. I see his worst case scenario being a career that follows the path of Derrick Rose, just without the good years. He wins Rookie of the Year, which is honestly inevitable at this point, but after that he manages to injure himself, followed by another injury and another and another, and so on and so forth. He won't be able to recover from the injuries like Derrick Rose did, and his career will probably end in like 6 years. So at the end, his resume will look like 1 Rookie of the Year and 1 All-Star appearance. So realistically speaking, I think that Ja will win at least one ring, possibly two, winning one Finals MVP along with. If he were to win two, then I do think that if Jaren Jackson Jr. is still on the team at that point, he would actually win the other Finals MVP. When it comes to regular season MVP, I feel like Ja will only win one, because I have a feeling that the Memphis Grizzlies will end up like the early OKC Thunder when they had KD, Harden, and Westbrook all on one team. Therefore, Ja won't have the best record. Sure, you can win MVP if you're having a historic season like we saw from Westbrook in 2017, but I just don't see Ja Morant having a historic season like that, because I don't believe that he can average more than 30 and 8, and in 3 to 4 years time that won't be special anymore, because we got guys like Luka already averaging 29 and 9 and Trae Young averaging like 28 and 8. When it's all said and done though, I believe that Ja will go down as a top 10 point guard of all time. Short answer, no. Why? Well, because of Zion Williamson, honestly. I think Zion won't have an injury-riddled career, so he can ultimately live up to his potential, and Zion has more potential than Ja, so there's that. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate y'all for sticking till the end. If you liked the video, don't forget to throw the thumbs up, subscribe, and also comment down below who you think is going to be the best player from the 2019 NBA draft. This was MCG, peace out.